Hi, my name is Julie Seager. I am the Western Regional Education Manager for Clear Incorporated, as well as a practicing dental hygienist. And today we are going over the retail products of the Clear Sinus Care line and the Spry Dental Defense product line. And the company is called Clear, and it's also the name of the Sinus Care line. And the company really does have a very proactive approach to health and wellness. They really do promote this type of lifestyle, as well as working with healthcare providers to make sure they understand the science behind the products that they're recommending to their clients and to their patients, so that they can come into your stores and purchase the products and know what they're getting and know that it's going to be a quality product that they can use to enhance their health. The Clear Nasal Spray is an all-natural nasal spray with saline as the base, xylitol as the active ingredient, and a very little bit of grapefruit seed extract. And these all work together to bring a very effective, safe, and gentle way to wash the nose. So it's a very unique product line. And this product was invented 25 years ago. So it's nothing new. It's been around quite a long time. It has amazing reviews. If you ever go online and look up the consumer reviews, you'll see just how many people are in love with this nasal spray and how many people it just helps to stay healthy.
I absolutely love this stuff. I've been using it for almost a year now. I've always had trouble with my sinuses when I sleep. I've tried neti pots, saline sinus rinses, saline sprays, and nasal steroids. The nasal steroids were doing the trick until I got oral thrush. For those that don't know, oral thrush is a yeast infection in your mouth. I didn't get it very bad, but I did feel like I had cotton mouth all the time. Apparently, nasal steroids can trigger oral thrush. I immediately stopped the nasal steroid and gave this stuff a try. I initially used it morning and night, but I've been using it only at night the last 5 months, and it works just as well. I have almost no sinus issues. I used to be stuffy during the day, generating a lot of mucus. At night, I would lay down and couldn't even breathe through my nose. With Clear, I have nearly no sinus issues. I don't take any allergy medicine or decongestants anymore. I highly recommend giving it a try.
So the Clear does come in the 1.5 ounce bottle with the long nozzle on it, the longer nasal cannula. And then it also comes in a 0.75 ounce bottle with a small cannula. And it has a softer mist that comes out of the 0.75 ounce bottle. But it can also be turned upside down and used as a dropper. So you can use it as a nasal drop as well as a spray, as opposed to the larger bottle where it just acts as a spray that you're going to pump down on that nozzle. And there are 240 metered pumps in the larger bottle, and with that, it will give you 1 month of spraying 2 squirts in each nostril morning and night for 30 days. So it's a very good investment in keeping your nose healthy, because this is where we breathe in all of the pathogens, allergens, things that make us sick and have seasonal allergies and hay fevers. That all starts in the nose. So this is a great way to wash the nose and help us to be able to keep it clean on a daily basis. So the Clear Nasal Spray can also be used to treat ear infections. This is actually how the product came to be developed, was in fighting pediatric ear infections. But those start in the nose, they don't start in the ear. And you can spray your nose. The xylitol, the grapefruit seed extract, will travel into the eustachian tube and help keep the ear canals open and healthy and fight the buildup of the infective agents, the infective biofilms that can cause these ear infections to happen over and over again. So daily use, allergies and colds, sinus and ear infections, anytime you feel like you've been exposed to somebody who's sick, this is just a very effective product, very gentle, very safe.
Life doesn't stop for congestion. Between managing work, the kids, and trying to find a moment for yourself, you don't have time for anything slowing you down. Clear Nasal Spray is here to help. Its natural xylitol formula doesn't just alleviate congestion, it cleans and protects, keeping your nose healthy and ready for whatever the day brings. From morning chaos to relaxed evenings, Clear helps you show up, because a clear nose means a clear mind.
The Kids Clear nasal spray is the same liquid formula as the original Clear that we just saw on the last screen, but this has to be marketed towards children in a package that looks as such, and so it has a cartoon on it with kids font, but it's the same formula with just saline, xylitol, and grapefruit seed extract. This is the same as the 0.75 ounce that we saw in the last slide. And this product was actually our original product. The whole company started with the nasal spray to fight kids' ear infections. And when this is used on a protocol of spraying the nose with each diaper change, or 5 times a day if the child is out of diapers, there can be a dramatic decrease in their ear infections because those start in the nose, not in the ears. So we spray the nose. Now, this can also be used as a spray bottle or as a dropper. So you can just turn this upside down and drop a couple drops of the nasal spray into the child's nose, rub their nose, and have them sniff it up. And it's very gentle. It tastes like a little bit of sugar water and very effective for help keeping their nose open to promote nasal breathing so that their lips can be closed, nasal breathing, keeping their upper respiratory infections down, their ear infections down, and just promoting overall health. This can be used starting very early on. I know many people like to use it the first week the babies are born. There's nothing that can, nobody will have allergies to any of these products, any of the ingredients, and there are no contraindications for use. So if somebody can use a saline spray, they can use this just as safely and effectively. It's completely safe for children as well as anybody with any medical conditions such as pregnancy or health conditions where their physicians might have concerns about interactions. So the Clear Max, this is a very popular nasal spray. It is the Clear original formula, so saline, grapefruit seed extract, and xylitol. And then they added capsicum and aloe. So it's a little bit spicy, as you'll know from capsicum. And it's buffered with the aloe and the xylitol. So it's spicy enough to induce the inflammation and the sinus pressure to be reduced in the sinuses and the nasal passages, but it's not so intense that it will do damage, okay? A lot of people use this and are very happy with the results. It is designed to reduce sinus pressure for allergies and sinus congestion. So I have heard people tell me that within 15, 20 minutes of using this, their sinus headaches will go away. I remember one lady I met, I gave her a bottle of this. She was suffering with such bad sinus headaches that she had pain all the way down her neck into her shoulders. And she came back to me a couple hours after she had used it, and she said, "Oh my goodness, nothing has ever worked like that to relieve my sinus pressure." And it was gave her so much relief that even the pain in her neck had subsided because she was able to finally breathe through her nose and get some relief from the pressure. So this is kind of like a natural nasal decongestant, and very popular product, but just be mindful if you're going to use this, just expect it to be a little bit spicy. So the Clear Rescue Nasal Formula is the original Clear product with essential oils added. So saline, xylitol, grapefruit seed extract, and then they added oregano, eucalyptus, tea tree, and parsley. And what those do is just give you like a little extra punch when you're fighting a bacterial or a viral infection that just is really stubborn. So the original Clear with the xylitol and grapefruit seed extract is very effective on keeping our sinus passages healthy. But every once in a while, something will slip past, and that's when we can use the Rescue nasal spray very effectively. The Clear Rescue is a favorite of a lot of people for when they get very, very sick, colds, flus, sinus infections, COVIDs, anything that causes congestion and just makes you feel rotten. This is not designed for long-term use, but for short-term use if you know you've been exposed to somebody who's sick or you feel something coming on that you just know is not going to go away with just a regular nasal spray, and it needs a little bit extra punch. This is the formula you want to choose for that. So, what is xylitol? It is the main ingredient in all these products we're talking about, but just a quick review on this. It's a completely natural sweetener. It looks and tastes just like table sugar. It's a crystalline carbohydrate that's derived from plant sources, and it's not artificial. So there's a lot of misconceptions about that. A lot of people might go online and read or hear a blog or see a social media post about xylitol being artificial. It's not, but unfortunately it gets lumped into the category where it is misconstrued as an artificial sugar because most sugar substitutes are artificial. Xylitol is completely natural. It's in all plants, fruits, and vegetables, and it's endogenous to the body. So our livers are actually producing 5 to 15 grams of xylulose every day as part of the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle. And it helps us to do helps with a lot of bodily functions that are just critical, such as providing energy to our cells in the ATP cycle. It's also a carrier for minerals into our bones, and it aids in digestion of carbohydrates as it's going through our gut in the digestive process. So it's completely natural in nature, in plants, and it's natural to our body. So again, there are no allergies or any contraindications to use or consumption of xylitol. It works with us rather than against us. And so why would you put this sugar into a nasal spray? So there are a lot of different reasons. And in a nutshell, we'll just go over these real quick, but it decreases the adherence of bacteria. And many people know about the use of xylitol in dental products. And one of the reasons it's so powerful to aid in cavity reduction in the mouth and the teeth is because it stops plaque from sticking to the teeth. Well, when we spray xylitol in the nose, it blocks the adherence of bacteria, allergens, viruses, fungal, candida cells, to the nasal membranes, and so it just doesn't sit there and turn into an infection. Xylitol is also called a mucolytic. It thins mucus. It will lyse the mucus cells. So for people who get sick with very thick congestion that gets stuck in their sinuses, the xylitol will go in and break up the mucus so that they can get rid of it. They can cough it out of their lungs. They can blow it out of their nose much more easily than without. It stimulates the natural nasal defense system, which is a whole cycle of having a nose that functions properly. And that includes having thin mucus, having the little hair-like fibers in our nose called cilia, being able to sweep the infected mucus up and out of the nose, and so it doesn't, like we said before, turn into an infection. Xylitol nasal spray, also compared to saline nasal spray, increases nitric oxide production in the sinuses. And this is very important. Nitric oxide is a critical molecule for keeping us healthy. And this is a very good way to induce its formation in the nasal passages, is just simply spraying your nose with the clear nasal spray. It helps to fight nasal infections, sinus infections, and it's also very hydrating. So for people who live in a dry climate, it can provide much needed moisture in the winter or the summer, depending on where you are. For people who are on airplanes a lot, for people who have to wear masks to work and find themselves breathing under their masks, this will keep your nose just functioning and cleaning itself more effectively to keep you healthy in a nice, natural, and safe way. Okay, so a little bit more science on xylitol. It's a unique molecule. So compared to other sugar alcohols, xylitol is an open 5-carbon molecule. So the fact that it's open compared to being like a ring sugar, if you look up what sorbitol looks like, or even just table sugar, sucrose, you'll see it in the shape of a ring. And xylitol is an open molecule instead of a ring, and this property to it makes it undigestible by bacteria and viruses as well as fungal cells. So people that are battling chronic conditions with bacteria, candida, and certain viruses can find success with xylitol products where they may have tried other products before, even with medication in them, that haven't been able to be effective in fighting the infections they need. And they will turn to something with xylitol as the active ingredient and be able to overcome a chronic condition such as fungal-based rhinosinusitis, because the xylitol will go in and work against it rather than feeding the infective or irritating agent. So in the 3 core nasal sprays, again, the ingredients are hypertonic saline, and this reduces the swelling in the nasal passages. The xylitol, which is blocking the adhesion of the inhaled pathogens and allergens, and then grapefruit seed extract. And this has been shown to be the ingredient that is bactericidal, virucidal, and also fungicidal to pathogens such as strep pneumonia, RSV, H. influenza, and SARS-CoV-2. If you'd like to learn more about the science behind these products, you can go to the website clear.com/science, and you will see a lot of the latest research on how clear nasal spray has been proven in published studies to help keep us healthy and fight off infective agents that make us sick. The other part of the Clear Sinus Care line is the irrigation, the sinus irrigation bottle and the packets that we make. So the sinus irrigation is something that a lot of people have used very successfully through a neti pot or a sinus irrigator. Because so many ear, nose, and throat doctors now recommend using a positive pressure bottle for sinus irrigation, that is what we use here at Clear as one of our product lines. And again, this is a very safe, effective way to irrigate the sinuses. You want to use this when you feel acutely sick. It's probably not a good idea to do this on a daily basis because it can be too much of a strong flush to irrigate the sinuses on a daily basis. But in those cases, you just want to use this Clear nasal spray and save the nasal irrigation for when you feel you're getting sick. The irrigation packets, which you will mix up with 8 to 10 ounces of body temperature water, include xylitol, Celtic sea salt, and sodium bicarbonate. It's the perfect ratio. And I will tell you this personally, this made a huge difference for me as somebody who never liked using a nasal irrigation packet because it burned so much. And when I discovered this product, long before I started working for Clear, I was so happy because it allowed me to be compliant with what my doctor wanted me to do, and they wanted me to irrigate my sinus passages when I would get sick. But I never liked to do it because the product always burned me. And this does not burn. It's very gentle. So if you do find that these products sting or burn a little bit in the nose, what that can be indicative of is that your nasal passages are so dry that they've actually developed little micro cracks in the nasal membrane, and you're feeling the salt go into the open wound. And so the more you use these products, you will build up the integrity of your nasal mucosa, the nasal tissues, and it will become stronger and healthier and more resilient. So in turn, that will keep you healthier and keep your system more resistant to getting sick with colds and flus and infective allergens. So this can provide very fast relief. It has a soft rubberized tip. You can clean this in the dishwasher. It's very safe to put in the dishwasher, and it is a BPA-free plastic. So this goes along with just everything we use here in our manufacturing facility. The Clear cough drops are becoming a favorite of consumers and healthcare providers. The Clear cough drops, black cherry and honey lemon flavors. These come in 30-count bags with 30 individually wrapped packets. These are fantastic. They have natural flavor and coloring. There is nothing artificial in this that will produce plaque on the teeth or cause any kind of bacteria growth that might harm the teeth, start to cause cavities, or drop the pH of the mouth like so many cough drops do. They have a very gentle, soothing menthol to them, and they are just amazing at helping to suppress the cough, as well as the xylitol can go in and work on if there's a bacteria or a virus in the back of the throat that may be causing the irritation, the xylitol will go in and start to work against that. And you use this combined with the clear nasal spray to reach the back of the throat, and this will just bring some very soothing relief to a sore throat and an irritated cough. So moving on to the Spry Dental Defense products. The Spry line of products is an all-natural dental care system. It's sugar-free. There's no aspartame or sorbitol in any of the products, as well as our chewing gums are soy-free, gluten-free. Our toothpaste and mouthwash do not contain sodium lauryl sulfate. We are non-GMO, kosher, vegan. These are very diabetic friendly. They can be used in your pocket, your purse, your backpack, so you can have on-the-go dental care throughout the day, because cavities don't just happen morning and night. They happen throughout the day. And as a hygienist and working with so many dentists over my career, I know that they always recommend we take care of our mouth throughout the day, but that's not always possible to brush and floss. And that's where these products can come in very handy. And before I forget, they are very safe. In fact, highly recommended for women who are pregnant, expecting, and for infants and babies, as we saw earlier with the clear nasal spray designed for infants. The Spry Enamel Max toothpaste is an incredibly powerful, unique formulated toothpaste that has a combination of xylitol, arginine, calcium, and trimetaphosphate. So this combination, whether it is with fluoride or without, provides an incredible protection to the teeth. This has been called the most mineralizing toothpaste on the market by one of the top researchers in the United States. And that's a very powerful statement, because there are a lot of really good toothpastes out there, but the Spry toothpaste is just a cut above. Our ingredients are so pure that this can be in the mouth and will not cause irritation and will not cause any harm if it's ever swallowed. The xylitol does a lot of things in the mouth, but for keeping the teeth clean, it's going to provide a slippery surface along the tooth so that it gets less plaque buildup. And if you do get plaque or tartar buildup on the teeth, it's much more easily removed than without having xylitol in there, because xylitol is providing that anti-adhesive barrier. The arginine is an incredible ingredient. It's just an amino acid, but it helps to block the pores in the dentin of the tooth, which is what's under the enamel or on your roots. If you have any roots showing on your teeth, sometimes those can get very sensitive to stimuli like a toothbrush bristle or to cold drinks or food. And the arginine helps to block those over and reduce sensitivity. At the same time, it's helping to neutralize the pH of the mouth, because cavities don't just come from bacteria, you have to have the right pH. You have to have a low pH combined with the bacteria to cause decay. And this is fighting that and neutralizing that environment every time you use it. Now, the trimetaphosphate is the magic ingredient in this toothpaste, and this is what's in the Enamel Max. This is a mineral complex that actually increases the strength of the enamel up to 33% more than when it's been compared to just fluoride alone. And what that means is that if you have a cavity starting on your tooth, the combination of the xylitol and the arginine will pull these minerals 33% more into the tooth to help heal that cavity and help remineralize that cavity or that lesion on the tooth, so that when the dentist goes in to check it, they might not need to go in as deep to fill it. And you may be able to bring back remineralization of the area without having to have a filling at all, because of how comprehensively this strengthens the tooth. The Spry Moisturizing Mouth Gel and Spray are favorite products of dentists and hygienists everywhere, because dry mouth is such an increasing problem. As our population ages, dry mouth increases. As more and more people go on medications, even if it's just an allergy medication that's being used for a week or two for hay fever, it can cause very irritating dry mouth. And these products bring instant relief as well as protection to the teeth because of the xylitol. Now, these products, the Spry Moisturizing Mouth Spray and Gel, also contain calcium, which is very helpful for keeping the teeth strong, and the grapefruit seed extract, which we remember from the slides with the nasal spray containing grapefruit seed extract. It's bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal. So these are very protective to the mouth. They're very gentle. These can be used as often as needed. The mouth spray comes in a 2-pack. The larger bottle has a 3.5 ounce size as well as a 1 ounce size. Now, most people that experience dry mouth will wake up at night with their mouth dry. And when they do, they can take a sip of water and then spray their mouth with the Spry Moisturizing Mouth Spray to help lock in the hydration, as well as to give a little bit more protection to the teeth with the xylitol. So these products are sodium lauryl sulfate free, so there won't be any burning or irritation to the mouth tissues. They contain aloe vera, which is very soothing and gentle. The xylitol actually provides a cooling effect. It's one of many, many benefits to xylitol. And in the mouth, in the oral care products, the cooling benefit is very nice because we don't have to use chemicals or artificial flavorings to induce that cooling effect. It just comes naturally through the xylitol. And then, of course, I mentioned the grapefruit seed extract. This has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial properties just to keep the bacteria levels down in the mouth. And with dry mouth sufferers, they usually will not even realize they have a decrease in saliva until there is a 60% decrease in the mouth. So 60% of the saliva has to be gone before patients will even realize they have an issue with it. So it's very important to stimulate the saliva flow that we do have with these products. Now, if somebody comes into the store asking for dry mouth relief products, you'll have a little secret here that you can share with them, and that is to make sure that they hydrate their nose as well, because to spray the nose is going to promote hydration all the way back through the nose into the back of the throat and the area that we call the naso and the oral pharynx, so the area between the mouth and the nose. And that area is just as dry as someone's mouth, but they might not realize it. And so to access that area, you have to go through the nose, and the nasal spray will get to the nasopharynx, hydrate that area, offer some protection. And when that area is hydrated, the mouth will stay hydrated for a longer period of time and provide more comprehensive dry mouth relief and just work as an adjunct to the dry mouth relief products that they're using in the mouth. So make sure that the customer is using the nasal spray along with the dry mouth products for the best results to combat the dry mouth symptoms.
So another question, you're out for 36 hours. I mean, you're doing nutrition on a 100-mile run, the small runs for you now. I mean, some of these runs, like you're out for multiple days and stuff. What are you doing for things like your teeth while you're running?
It's a huge deal. So one of the things, so this is another thing, when we started having more of a relationship, you started giving us some spry gum, and you started giving us toothpaste. And the interesting thing is, on a 200-mile race, you have 4 days to complete it, that 105 hours. Even us in the front, finishing it in the 50 to 70-hour range, depending on the terrain and everything. Every race is a little different. But up in the front, you still have that same thing. You're still doing a level of mouth breathing. And you don't have every runner out there, we're always breathing through our nose. One, in dry conditions, breathing through your nose causes usually nosebleeds. I've been in Tahoe 200 before, sitting at a string, just pouring blood down, just because it got dry in my capillaries and stuff like that. That was pre-clear. Now I can't even remember the last time I've gotten a nosebleed. I just use the product every day and stuff like that. The another thing is when you're breathing through your mouth constantly, and you're eating goos and all the different quick carbs, along with whole food that we're eating in these 200-mile races, sugary. Yeah. And it actually, you build up this slime on your teeth. You feel it. Every ultra runner that listens to this podcast is just like, oh my gosh, he's exactly right. And it gets to the point, it gets so bad that some runners will carry, just like through hikers, backpackers, they'll take a toothbrush, they'll cut it down so it's nice and weight, or they'll put disposable toothbrushes in their drop bags at the checkpoints so they can come in and brush their teeth because it's so nasty. And I can't even imagine what my breath smells like if my teeth are that slimed with bacteria or whatever that film is that builds up, and then all the different foods and the goos and the sugars and jerky, whatever you're eating. So one of the things that we figured out, I mean, it was Nate that actually just said, hey, you guys need to be using this gum and this toothpaste. And so we started using the toothpaste, but it was actually the gum was the most convenient.
Sure. Because
we're in the front. We're like, I'm not have time to brush my teeth. I'm not taking the time to brush my teeth. We would just we'll pop gum, and it cleans it cleans all that off. Yeah. While we're running. Right. So we're running, we're freshening our breath, and I don't know if this is bad, but we just spit it out, and you just have I have a little supply of gum, and every 20 miles I'll pop a
and your mouth feels totally clean after.
And it's totally clean. It feels very more comfortable and stuff like that. Yeah,
because all that stuff building up on your teeth is the bacteria that's consuming all those carbs. And then with all that running and breathing, you're producing less saliva. You have less saliva in your mouth. And so, that bacteria just builds up on your gum and your teeth. And it's the xylitol in the gum that just breaks that bacteria down and allows for your teeth to feel clean. So,
and the next thing is when me and Mike, my buddy Mike, were running across Arizona on the Arizona Trail. That's when you guys I don't know if you had it before, but you introduced the mouth spray.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a moisture mouth spray to us.
Yeah.
Because we were running across Arizona, and Nate's like, dude, you need to take this and use it. It made it such a big deal. So one of the other things that happens to a runner, we'll take like drink mixes.
Yeah.
And we'll take electrolytes, and you're taking all this stuff, and you start to get a sore throat. It's just breathing through your mouth. There's just so much going on that a lot of people will get sore throats from the different, just the different powders and stuff like that you're always consuming and stuff like that. And then if you add acidic things to it, like pineapple or oranges and stuff like that, some people do juices.
Yeah.
It's a bad remedy. And after a while, you start to get this sore throat. Well, we noticed on the AZT that just shooting that in your mouth every once in a while actually alleviated the sore throat so that we can keep taking all this stuff in without getting the sore throat. So I don't know exactly what's causing the sore throat besides maybe like heavy breathing and dryness and just everything else that might be causing it. And it definitely happens past, like, we don't usually get the sore throat in shorter distances like 200 normally. But when we were going up to like the 800-mile distance, you're doing that for over 10 days, you notice that kind of thing. And so just spraying that in my mouth became a bit, and you have those little shots that fit in our pack.
Easy
and
to
so
squirt.
Here we are with all this oral care, nasal spray. You got the little nasal spray things. And so I have like a little pack right here, and it's my little toiletry bag, and I got my like gum, my nasal spray. It's like my clear pocket. It's my clear pocket. And it makes you're so uncomfortable doing these distances. It alleviates some of that discomfort.
All right, spry gum. So this is a favorite for just about everybody. This is chewing gum sweetened only with xylitol, no aspartame, no sorbitol. These are clean products, and when you try your samples, you will notice nothing artificial in there. Fantastic flavor. Now, the trick to using this to fighting decay is to chew 2 pieces for about 3 to 5 minutes. And when the flavor is gone from the gum pieces, from the chiclets, it's done its job. So it has neutralized the pH of the mouth and reduced the bacteria loads, which change every time we eat and drink. And so this is why we like to call it on-the-go dental care. So say you had a very busy day, you were eating and drinking, you went out and had a coffee before you went home for the evening, or you were at sports practice and had an energy drink afterwards with the sugars and the acids in those can really start to wreak havoc in the environment of the mouth. And 2 pieces of spry gum for 3 to 5 minutes will neutralize that and bring the mouth back to a neutral environment. So we make it very convenient for people to keep their mouth clean and healthy on the go. So you can get spry gum in blister cards, foil back blister cards, 100-piece jars, or 55-count bags, which are becoming very, very popular and very easy to use to throw in your purse or backpack and keep with you throughout the day. The on-the-go dental care mints are a favorite for just freshening up your breath throughout the day. Or if you're in a situation where you can't chew gum, maybe you're not going to be able to throw the gum away, but you didn't have a chance to brush your teeth after lunch and you have an important meeting coming up, or you're going to be in a car with somebody and you don't want to have to worry about your breath. You pop a couple of mints, let them slowly dissolve in your mouth, and in that time that it's dissolving, it will neutralize the pH and the bacteria loads. So you can buy the mints in the 45-count tubes, or you can purchase them in 240-count tubs, that's supposed to say tubs, these are natural. They are gluten-free. They're very practical for providing dry mouth relief for people who are suffering with that throughout the day. And it will also just help keep your breath nice and fresh, to keeping the plaque down on the teeth, keeping the acids nice and neutralized in the mouth. Very easy to use and just part of the Spry system. So at this point, you're probably seeing how this will be a dental defense system of products.
Finished eating? Grab Spry Gum. Spry Gum is sweetened 100% with xylitol, a natural way to keep your mouth clean. Xylitol doesn't feed the harmful bacteria in your mouth, and it helps support healthy oral hygiene. Spry Gum goes wherever you go, after meals, after snacks, anytime. Discover the gum that does more. Smile healthy.
And this also includes the Spry Oral Rinse. So you've got toothpaste, and now you've got mouthwash. So hopefully you're doing this twice a day, and that's going to be 2 exposures of good xylitol in the mouth to get you going in the morning and to help your mouth reach a nice neutral state before you go to sleep at night. The Spry Oral Rinse has an amazing protective benefit for teeth and gums. It's a very low alcohol formula. This is only an 8% alcohol, so it's very low compared to most mouthwashes on the market. And it's been proven in studies to be effective at fighting off cavity-causing and acid-producing bacteria, but not enough alcohol where it's going to go in and act as an antibacterial and kill off too much bacteria. We need to keep the microbiome of the mouth very balanced, and the Spry mouthwash and oral rinse have been proven to be effective in doing that. This will help freshen your breath and, again, help fight the cavity-causing bacteria. The Herbal Mint Healing Blend Mouthwash. This is a favorite among many of my colleagues in the dental hygiene field because it is so healing and can be very, very helpful for people undergoing active dental treatment, especially periodontal therapies. This is very healing to gums. If you've had any kind of surgical procedures in the mouth, if you've had deep cleaning done, or if you just are experiencing mouth irritations for different reasons, if from different medical procedures or treatments or medications that can cause the mouth tissues to be irritated, this formula is so gentle and just so beautiful in the mouth. So this contains xylitol and erythritol blended together as the active ingredient to help keep down bacteria and neutralize the pH. But then we put in healing ingredients, CoQ10, sage, chamomile, myrrh, and thyme. And the combination of these is I have to say it just is like magic in the mouth as far as promoting healing and soothing to the mouth tissues. So Spry Kids, this is such a popular line because a lot of parents these days are insisting that their kids use natural products. Now, these products are flavored and colored only with products derived from nature. Nothing artificial in these. The Kids Infant Training Gel is a fluoride-free training gel that can be used to introduce xylitol to the mouth before babies get their teeth in, before the teeth erupt. Babies can't chew gum or mints, so how do they get xylitol in the mouth? You can use this gel. You can spoon feed it to the baby. You can put it in a dispenser binky. Please make sure it's an ergonomic binky, one that is dentist approved. You can put a little dab of the gel on a washcloth or a cotton pad and wipe it around the gum tissue. And what this is going to do for the baby's mouth is to offer a protective benefit to stop the bacteria that causes cavities from being able to get a foothold on the teeth before they erupt. So the babies are not born with cavity-causing bacteria. We actually transfer that to them. It's called vertical transmission. And it comes from what happens when we transfer cavity-causing bacteria from ourselves to the babies. Babies are not born with this bacteria. We give it to them through loving on them, kissing them, hugging them, sharing a spoon, cleaning off a binky in our own mouth before we give it back to the baby. And the xylitol will come in and stop that bacteria from being able to get a foothold on the teeth as they erupt. So if you can get this in the baby's mouth in whatever way you want, 3 or 4 times a day, just takes a very little bit, just a little ribbon of the gel in the baby's mouth will provide incredible protective benefits to their baby teeth, and then keep them using xylitol products as they go into having their baby teeth fall out and getting their adult teeth to come in. And this is where we're getting into the area where you'll see protection, lifelong protection to the teeth when it starts at the infant stage. For toddlers and grade school children, they are going to be more interested in traditional toothpaste. And this is where the Spry bubblegum mouthwash and toothpaste come in. These are high content xylitol. The mouthwash has erythritol added to it, which is another very anti-cavity sugar alcohol that just blends very beautifully together with xylitol for providing anti-cavity benefit. And these are completely safe to be swallowed. Again, there are no artificial colors or flavors in these products. So for children with sensory issues, they do really well with these products because of the complete natural ingredients. All right, so frequently asked questions. When should I use the clear nasal spray? Well, prevention is best. I always say jokingly, do you only brush your teeth when you get a cavity? Of course not. Well, do you only spray your nose when you get sick? Hopefully not. Hopefully not anymore. We'll start thinking about it as a preventive tool. Keep your clear nasal spray next to your toothbrush and your Spry toothpaste, and use it morning and night for the best protective benefits. We want to use clear nasal spray prior to being in a dry environment. If you're getting on an airplane, if you're going to the movies, if you're going skiing in the winter and the weather's very dry and you're in a high altitude climate, anything you can imagine, this is going to be very helpful in providing hydration as well as protection to your nose. And then again, morning and night for sustained benefits. Now, what about dental benefits from using clear nasal spray? Well, there really haven't been any studies showing that xylitol nasal spray offers a reduction in dental cavities. But where we do see the benefit is in providing moisture to the throat and hydration for people that are suffering with dry mouth. And that condition can just be helped so much by adding in Clear nasal spray to whatever they're doing to help relieve dry mouth. And then when you use Clear nasal spray in the nose and sinuses, and you're using Spry Dental Defense products in the mouth, what you're doing is building a healthy communal microbiome that will talk to each other, and so that your mouth and your nose are both healthy and working with synergistic, healthy bacteria to keep you healthy and strong. So, thank you for joining us for this presentation. We hope you have learned a little bit about the product line, something that can help you personally. You can inform your customers and even take this information to your friends and family who you know might be battling sinuses or allergies, ear infections, or even dental cavities and gum disease. These products will come in so easy to use and so handy. But we just want to say thank you. Clear has always been the leader in developing sinus care products with the highest levels of xylitol. The company was created with science, and we will continue to follow science with products that create a healthy microbiome for optimum oral and respiratory health.